Why systems create the people they need. Most people believe systems are created by people. Companies are built by leaders. Cultures are shaped by communities. Governments are created by citizens. And while that's true, it's only half the story. Because once a system exists, something strange begins to happen. The system starts shaping the people inside it. Their behavior, their beliefs, their incentives, even their identity. And if you don't understand this process, you'll spend your life blaming individuals for outcomes that are actually being produced by the system itself. Part 1. The Great Illusion. Imagine two people, same intelligence, same values, same good intentions. Place one inside a healthy system, place the other inside a dysfunctional system. Wait a few years. What happens? Most people assume the outcomes will be similar. But they often aren't. The system begins influencing behavior. It rewards some actions, punishes others, encourages certain habits, discourages others. Slowly, people adapt. Not because they're weak, because adaptation is how humans survive. The result is something most people never notice. Different systems begin producing different kinds of people. Part 2. The system doesn't care what you believe. People often focus on values, mission statements, rules, official goals. But systems respond to something else. Incentives. A system may claim to reward honesty. But if honesty creates penalties, while silence creates rewards, people learn silence. A company may claim to value innovation. But if innovation creates risk, while conformity creates safety, people learn conformity. A society may celebrate critical thinking. But if questioning assumptions creates social punishment, people learn compliance. Over time, the system begins selecting for the behaviors it rewards, not the behaviors it claims to value. Part 3. Why good people do strange things. This is where many people make a mistake. They see harmful outcomes and immediately search for bad people. But systems often produce behaviors that individuals would never choose in isolation. The problem isn't always character, it's conditions. When incentives, feedback loops, and pressures align in certain ways, behavior changes. People begin optimizing for survival within the system, not necessarily for what they originally believed. That's why the same person can behave very differently in different environments. The system changes what becomes rational, and once that happens, behavior changes with it. Part 4. The Invisible Selection Process. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Systems don't just shape behavior, they shape who succeeds. Imagine an organization that rewards certainty. Who gets promoted? Usually the people who project certainty, not necessarily the people who see reality most clearly. Imagine a system that rewards short-term results. Who rises? The people optimized for short-term results, not necessarily long-term thinking. Over time, the system starts selecting the people most compatible with its structure. The system creates the people it needs, and those people reinforce the system in return. A feedback loop emerges. The system shapes people. People strengthen the system. The cycle continues. Part 5. Why change is so difficult. This is one reason transformation is so hard. People try to change behavior, but behavior is often an output, not the source. The source is the system. If incentives remain the same, behavior returns. If feedback loops remain the same, behavior returns. If the conditions remain the same, behavior returns. That's why replacing individuals often fails. The new people enter the old system, and the system begins shaping them too. Soon, the same outcomes reappear. Not because people failed, because the structure never changed. Part 6. The most powerful question. Whenever you encounter a recurring problem, ask a different question. Instead of, "What's wrong with these people?" Ask, "What kind of system would naturally produce this behavior?" That single question changes everything. Suddenly, you stop focusing only on individuals. You start examining incentives, relationships, Information flows, constraints, feedback loops. You stop looking for villains. You start looking for structures. And structures are where lasting change becomes possible. Part 7. System shaping. The people who understand systems eventually realize something important. If systems create people, then changing systems changes people too. Not through force, not through persuasion, but through conditions. Change the incentives, change the feedback loops, change the information flows, change the environment, and different behaviors begin to emerge naturally. This is the foundation of system shaping. Instead of fighting outcomes directly, you reshape the conditions that produce them. And when the conditions change, the future changes with them. Conclusion. People shape systems, but systems shape people too. The question isn't whether a system is influencing behavior. Every system does. The real question is, what kind of people is your system creating? Because every organization, every culture, every institution, and every society eventually becomes a reflection of the behaviors it rewards. And once you see that, you stop asking how to control people and start asking how to shape the system. If you want to understand systems thinking, organizational transformation, leadership, complexity, and system shaping, subscribe to Paradigm Red. Because where paradigms shift, systems evolve.